Thomas Street is one of the designated self-contained schools in the district. And with me to explain a little bit more about that is our principal, Candy Moore. And Ms. Moore, it's a big responsibility you guys have with these students. How many students are there? And kind of take us through the routine for the day on how you educate them and work with them.
Well, in our self-contained class, we have 9 students with us currently. And our day-to-day routines are making sure that our students are serviced with their IEP goals, making sure that their needs are met. We have in the classroom 1 certified teacher and we have 3 assistants. And like I said, during the day we have rotating times to where our students are receiving the academics, and we have times where they're receiving the physical, as far as we have students who need walking time, physical time, movement time. We have, of course, related services that we work with, OT, PT, speech, as well as social and emotional. Of course, they have recess. Sometimes it depends, and it depends on the weather, whether it's in the sensory room, it may be in the gymnasium, and then we have a designated area right behind the cafeteria where they have their recess equipment. And of course, when they return from recess, they work on their IEP goals in small groups, once again, one-on-one interventions that they receive to target their IEP goals. Of course, they move into arts and crafts.
Okay.
And then they have whole group, and they work on social and emotional.
It's a full day.
It's a full day.
They're exhausted probably.
They're exhausted by the time that they go home. A lot of hands-on.
A lot of hands-on. But
hands-on
that's key for their development,
It is
too.
very key. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for all you do with these children at the school. We know it's a big task, but it's part of our mission, and you guys do a wonderful job here.
Oh yes, the staff is awesome.
Awesome. They are.
They work very hard.
We're going to go take a look inside the classroom and see some of the things that these teachers do. With me today is Stephanie Frederick, whose son William is in our self-contained class at Thomas Street. And Stephanie, thank you for taking the time with us today. And tell us a little bit about William and what he has and how Thomas Street is helping him as he progresses.
Right, thank you. William, he was born at 40 weeks, and during my maternity leave, I had a maternal instinct that something wasn't quite right. And within 4 months to 6 months, we realized, the pediatrician and myself and my husband, that he was developmentally delayed. And we went to Le Bonheur, met with several specialists, and left Le Bonheur with William getting a G-tube in his stomach to help him eat, because he was admitted to Le Bonheur as failure to thrive. But we left Le Bonheur undiagnosed. We left not knowing why William was developmentally delayed. And it wasn't until when William turned 5 last summer, 5 days after his 5th birthday, that Le Bonheur Genetics Clinic gave us that valuable information that he has a rare disease called MCT8,
Okay.
or it's also referred to as Allan-Herndon-Dudley syndrome.
What does he do to overcome that? How has he developed? What kind of progress have you seen since he's been at Thomas Street?
Well, he receives through the school district speech therapy, physical therapy, and occupational therapy. And that is critical for not only all special needs students or those with disabilities, but particularly those who are undiagnosed.
Right.
Because they need every bit of help that they can get to overcome their disabilities, not knowing what the underlying factor is. And here at Thomas Street, he receives all 3, and you have this wonderful sensory room that we're in right now that gives him different aids in which to practice his motor skills, his fine skills with, and he actually has a yes-no switch that his speech therapist is working with him on being able to answer yes or no when asked a direct question.
I was going to talk to you about that because William showed me a little bit of the yes-no switch, and it's I think we all could use one of those. Just talk about how that's helped him, especially from a frustration standpoint.
Well, William is nonverbal, and he is in a wheelchair, and William can neither walk or sit on his own or feed himself or dress himself. So he is vulnerable to the need to other assistance that he cannot perform himself. And so if you're also nonverbal on top of that, imagine the frustration of not being able to express what you need or what you want, or maybe mommy and daddy aren't doing something correctly, or something feels not quite right. But having a yes or no is a baseline upon which he can start building, communicating with us.
It's kind of the first start of communicating, I guess.
Right.
And we saw another child earlier, Connor, who had a tablet. That I guess that's where William is trying to get to now, is
Right,
the
yes.
tablet part that communicates. Just technology has really been a difference
Right.
maker in this process for you guys.
What I have seen on social media, there are lots of advancements to aids for nonverbal children. And there's a lot more that we can incorporate into their daily life to help them communicate and to continue to progress with their fine motor skills and their gross motor skills.
William obviously is battling some things that a lot of students don't have to deal with. But being in a school with other students, how has that helped him as well?
Well, having his particular rare disease, one part of his diagnosis is that he enjoys the socialization of other people. So even though he cannot talk with you, he's a very good listener. He loves just you being around him, and being able just to interact with his other peers just has increased his ability to socialize better, even with those who are closest to him. When he actually, before he started over at Early Childhood Education Center, prior to Thomas Street, he was very disruptive at home. His behavior was not good. But when he started school and he was with other peers, I mean, it was like a 180. I mean, he
Wow.
just completely changed. And his attitude and his behavior has just gotten so much better. Being able to interact with other people and to see where he needs to be, what baseline he should be at. To see others also improve who have disabilities encourages him.
You discovered his personality as he's blossomed
Right, yes.
through this. Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And cute kid.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
just full of energy, and I've really gotten to enjoy watching these guys this morning. And again, thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
For Your Story, Our Purpose, One Heartbeat, I'm Greg Ellis.